What's up, YouTube? I am back and I got something new for you. It is going to be a keyboard, the Novelkeys NK65. It's been a long time since I've looked at a keyboard and I've learned a lot. The first thing that I learned, and what anyone's going to learn getting into the hobby, is just how expensive things can add up. Luckily, there is an option out there by Novelkeys that's really going to give you that first step into the hobby without it being too intimidating. So let's go take a look. All right, folks, so once you get yours arriving at your doorstep, you're going to open it up and it's going to come in a nice carrying case that is molded for the exact dimensions of the keyboard itself, as well as some netting for any accessories. So if you're going to a friend's house, if you're taking this to work, or for a LAN event, whenever those decide to come back into existence, you're good to go with a carrying case. This is a 65% keyboard, meaning that it's not going to have your function keys. It's not going to have your number pad. It will have your arrows though. So, and surprisingly, when you use a 60% for so long, you end up missing those arrows sometimes. So I really feel like the 65% is the perfect size for me. Outside of that, you're going to get a standard coil USB-C. They make mention of it on the website. It is a basic cable, so you want to go to a third party like Space Cables or Lux Cables for anything that's more customizable than your standardized rubber. And that's really where the budget kind of comes into place, because this is only $95. So it does not come with the switches, does not come with your keycaps. However, this is a full metal plate, a polycarbonate casing, which is, this particular one is translucent purple, as you can tell. I really like it. It reminds me of the old Game Boy from Nintendo of the heyday in the 90s. So really like that. They used to call it the atomic purple. And they do specify in your, not in your order, but on the listing, that your PCB could be black and your cable could be black, or it could be white. So the dice was rolled. I got the white. I'm not too bothered by it. But we're missing some stuff here. We're missing the switches, the keycaps. Let's go ahead and build this thing and see what it looks like. All right, folks, so that was the typing test with the fully lubed and filmed Gateron Black Inks, which first time I've actually used the switches, and I got to tell you, I absolutely love them on this board. When I did have to switch out some switches, though, like I had bent a pin, which is fine, you can always straighten it back out. I did notice that the aluminum plating, though, whatever coating or paint is on it, it scratches very easily. So keep that in mind. If you are switching out switches, you're someone that likes to mix things up often, or you're installing them for the first time and you have to reapply one, just be careful with whatever tool you are using. This one I got from Novelkeys a long time ago, and I've never had problems with it, but of course, metal on metal, it is going to be prone to scratching a plate that's somewhat sensitive to the material that's used in this one. One thing you did notice is that when you are installing the switches, it is south facing. So the RGB, or the lighting, is going to be at the bottom, and that can be impactful if you're someone that wants to use shine through keycaps. If you're really big in your RGB, this might not be the keyboard for you, because of the fact that it's not really its strongest suit. It is fully customizable via the software that you can download for it, and the software makes it very simple. But again, the brightness is going to be strictly limited to the actual positioning of the switch. So keep that in mind if you're someone that's really into your RGB. And everyone knocks it, but honestly, this is all part of the hobby and it's all in good fun. So if you're really into RGB and that's a big deciding factor for you on your next keyboard, I totally understand. Looking at the actual stabilizers, they are lubed, which is really, really nice. And they're lubed a hefty amount, so there's no issues there. But keep in mind they are plate mounted, and there are a lot of enthusiasts and hobbyists out there that aren't really a big fan of plate mounted. Again, this is still relatively new to me. So, you know, your different types of stabs that are out there, there's a lot of argument that they're the better ones, like the screw in. It's going to be a lot more sturdy, less prone to any rattle. You don't have that option with the Entry here. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind when you're looking at this keyboard itself. Outside of that though, if we do reapply our keycaps here and we move on to the angle, if you notice, it is going to be a fixed 8-degree angle. And that means that this is it. This is all you're going to have as far as an angle. And it's not, I mean, I believe 6 and 8 degrees is the most common for a keyboard. In a lot of your premium keyboards out there, they're not going to have your feet that you can actually just flip out. Those are more of like something you're going to find in your production boards. So I didn't have any issues with this. At the bottom, you got 2 very large silicone feet. They're kind of elevated at the end here, so most of the weight is going to be sitting on the edges. But either way, I did not have any difficulty. You'll see the camera shaking because this does not slide at all on my desk that I have. And then outside of that, you do have, if you notice, this is translucent, right? But you're seeing like some purple material in here. They actually have a giant piece of silicone as a sound dampener for the acoustics on the keyboard, which is amazing because I've done it on my drop alt where I went to Michael's and I bought foam. I cut up the foam, I opened the keyboard, I put it all in there. I did notice a little bit of a difference, but having Novelkeys insert this right out of the gate is one of the coolest things ever. I did not open the keyboard. Definitely check out Bad C Tech's video where he does crack it open and you can actually see that wedge silicone that's in there and it's all pre-cut out. So another fantastic feature for a keyboard that's only $95. Right here, this is probably my biggest gripe, to be honest with you. The USB-C, while it's recessed and I didn't have any issues plugging in different types of USB-C cables, it's on the right. And I don't know, every setup that I use, I like having it on the left, and then I angle my board accordingly. So it being on the right, it kind of throws me off. It doesn't necessarily get in the way of things, but I would have preferred it to be on that standardized left side. So outside of that though, this keyboard I believe is a fantastic entry, hence the name, into the hobby itself, because the hobby can be very intimidating. And so it being only $95, it kind of gets you right on the path of opening up that door to the endless black hole that is the mechanical keyboard hobby. Keep in mind, to be fully transparent, this is a 95 board, but I spent $50 on the keycaps, and I also spent another $50 or $60 on the switches, and then what, $5 on the film, and then another $10 on the lube. So with any hobby, everything's going to eventually start adding up, right? But for the money of $95 and the premium material that you're getting with the NK65 Entry by Novelkeys, this is a fantastic addition to a newcomer or a seasoned veteran. Outside of that, you guys have yourself a great day. I appreciate you watching the video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If this is something that you want to see more of in the hobby, or you still feel that a $95 keyboard with no switches and no keycaps is just, it's not going to fit the bill for you and it's too much. All right, you guys have yourself a great day and stay safe.